Greetings, YouTube. It's just been a couple hours since I did a video on the blessings of the Thronebreaker calendar, which I honestly didn't know was a Thronebreaker anniversary calendar. It's kind of weird to even call it that because Thronebreaker's been around for a couple months, and I've been playing this game for many years. In fact, it's easy to forget now because there's been so much emphasis on this that Cavalier, for the longest of 2020, was the top progression level. And there are so many of you watching this who are close to being Thronebreaker, but you don't want to take Groot to rank 3 just to get this calendar. You don't want to take your Iron Package to rank 3 or your OG Daredevil or Captain America World War II. I could go on and on and on. But just as we discussed on Cyber Weekend, there being not a slow or short gap between Cavalier and Thronebreaker, but a Grand Canyon-like crevice, so too is there another case of this with this calendar. Because as we're getting, as Thronebreakers, 5,000 6-star shards, 2 days of 6-star signature stones, 3 Tier 2 Alpha, and 15,000 Tier 5 Basic Catalyst fragments, along with, of course, 6 Tier 4 Basic and 6 Tier 4 Class Catalysts, we want to take a look at this. This is quite literally a microcosm of how Kabam views Cavalier players. Strangely enough, you do get double the 5-star signature stone crystals from day 5 to day 2. When you look at mine here, it's the same amount. So I guess that makes more sense when it comes to Cavalier. But they're not even signature stones. They're signature stone crystals. And they're 5 stars. So I said this for Cyber Weekend, but if you're Kabam and you really know that you want your player base to become Thronebreakers and they want to become Thronebreakers, you want to give them some incentives to do so. And obviously this is not it. I think it's kind of BS that the amount of Tier 2 Alphas is cut by 2/3. So we get 1 here, or we get 3 here and they get 1 here. And then what's half of 15,750? Well, it's almost 8,000, right? Well, they get 6,750. So, I guess that's what, 13,500 if you were to double that. So that's an increase of 2,250. Either way, are Cavalier players the new Uncollected player? It appears like it. I wish I had some rah-rah speech to be like, no, you're not. But Cavalier players have woken up in the past couple weeks realizing that in Kabam's eyes, it's not just a difference between first class and coach. It's first class and pushed off the plane. And that is a huge marketing risk to a player base that is already ticked off because they wanted to give you their $600 to buy Thronebreaker offers, but couldn't get Tier 5 Class Catalyst Fragment selectors from your Cyber Weekend offers. Now, yes, it's free. And yes, it's still a huge improvement from last year's calendar, but when they compare it to Thronebreaker, it does feel like the difference between Amazing Steak and expired cardboard. I wish, again, there's something I could tell you Cavalier players, but I just call it like I see it. There is a huge divide right now between how the game's treating you and how it's treating Thronebreakers. Part of that is, I guess, the assumption that Thronebreakers are probably the whales. They're the high spenders, but that's not always the case. And Cavalier players are really stuck now between before, Cyber Weekend, it came and gone, but now you're thinking about the Kabam Santa, December 25th, and the progression title meaning everything. And this is the second time Thronebreakers really meant something in a progression level. So, I don't know what to tell you, other than I hope Kabam comes out with some Tier 5 Class Catalyst Fragment selectors soon, because you Cavalier players deserve to be Thronebreakers, and I've said this from the beginning, but what I would have done, had I been working for Kabam, Lord help me, is I would have not made it the requirement to take a 6-star to rank 3, which is such a random blanket kind of accomplishment that screws over players who don't have the right 6-star luck. But instead I would have said you have to complete Act 6 and complete the Abyss. That would have given those players the same resources to take a 6-star to rank 3 without forcing them to use it on somebody that they really don't want to invest those rare resources, especially the fully formed Tier 5 Class Catalyst. Well, there you have it, YouTube Cavalier players. I'm sorry for your demise, but it appears that the gap continues to become even wider with this latest development. All I can say is I don't think it's worth it to take a 6-star that you don't use to rank 3 just for this. But at the same time, if this is a pattern that's already been consistent in the first couple weeks of December, there's no reason to believe it won't continue in 2021, even as Kabam publicly says that they'll look into it, which normally doesn't, mean anything.